this summer from the studio that brought you Novus, Clearus, Verus, the hi-fi journey begins, and Verus II, the tweeter strikes back. Comes the final installment to the trilogy you've all been waiting for. Verus III, the two concert towers. Only in theaters this July.
No, actually, you can get them now. I'm gonna talk about them in like 10 seconds.
Oh, well, shoot dang. Let's get this party started then.
Greetings, my fellow web surfers. My name is Elon Osborne, and I like to talk about movies, audio, and music. And today I'll be reviewing the large and in-charge Aperion Audio flagship tower speakers, the Verus III Concert V8T. Verus III, third time's a charm, right? This is the part where I show you what's in the box, but I've already made a separate video for that because it's very specific considering these speakers are so tall and so heavy. So there is an order of operations you should definitely follow when opening these for the first time. The same instructions come in the box, so you can either read the unboxing guide or let me entertain you along the way. Your choice, whatever.
Fine.
Specs.
Frequency response is at a chest-thumping 30 Hz to 30 kHz. They have a nominal impedance of 4 ohms, so they can handle some power. Sensitivity rating is 91 decibels, which is the only speaker that Aperion offers with a sensitivity rating in the 90s. Recommended power handling is between 20 to 300 watts. Wow. Remember when I said it could handle some power? They have a 1-inch custom ASR tweeter with magnetic ferrofluid. If you need a refresher on what an ASR tweeter is, I go over it in my Verus III bookshelf review. Available now wherever Elon Osborne videos are found, meaning YouTube. They're only on YouTube. Moving on, they have two 5.25-inch woven Kevlar mid-range drivers flanking the tweeter. And I love me some mid-range woofers for even more rich detail and separation between high and low frequencies due to the premium crossover network inside. And these speakers are finished off with two 8-inch woven Kevlar bass woofers with dust caps and rubber surrounds. On the back there are dual bass ports with included bass port plugs. If they are placed close to a wall or sound a little bit too boomy in your room, plugging up one or both of the ports can help with that. Moving down, there is a nifty little tweeter and mid-range crossover adjustment matrix that allows you to manually cut or boost the high and mid-range frequencies. As you can see here, you have a choice between +2, 0, -2, or -4 decibels. Moving down, there are two sets of 5-way gold-plated binding posts for your bi-wiring or bi-amping needs. If you need a refresher on bi-amping, check out this video here. And all this is housed in an ultra-thick HDF cabinet, resting on two CNC milled aluminum feet with spikes for some great acoustical isolation from the floor. There is a removable magnetic grille, and since these are sleek and contoured, it's suggested to just pull on the fabric to remove them, like so. Easy. But the last thing to note is just how pretty these speakers are. When dealing with flagship speakers, you're not only paying for advanced crossover networks or premium build materials and engineering, you're paying for furniture essentially. This isn't just a boxy tower, this is a sleek, tapered, glossy statement piece within a living room or hi-fi listening area. And speaking of listening, how do they sound? Just stunning. Come join me for a little story time, would ya? I had just these two speakers set up in stereo in my master bedroom for a time, hooked up to a Peachtree Nova 300 DAC/amp. I purposely chose to listen to an Apple Music playlist comprised solely of high-res lossless music. I was listening to a few songs and they sounded spectacular. I didn't expect any less from high-res coming through these speakers. Very impressive vocal clarity through those mid-range woofers. Bass extension was bombastic from those dual 8-inch bass woofers. Cymbal crashes sizzled through that ASR tweeter. Then the song Iris came on by the Goo Goo Dolls. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Goo Goo Dolls, but do I know the song? Of course. I was in junior high and high school in the 90s, which are your most transformative years when it comes to how influential music can be on your psyche and your personality as a whole. So Iris was on regular rotation on the radio. Did I own the album Dizzy Up the Girl, which the song Iris was on? No. So I can't exactly say I listened to it in CD quality, I've only listened to it in broadcast radio quality. But the song itself is etched in my brain for all time. But from the second the intro started, with the mandolin strumming,
This is the way.
This is the way.
No, not Mandalorian. When the mandolin started strumming, I knew right then and there, I've heard this song so many times, but never have I heard it like this. But then my eyes widened even more when the vocals and bass guitar came in for the first verse. I was fooled into thinking, oh cool, this must be a live version that's on Apple Music. Asterisk, checks playlist. Nope. This is just a regular album version. Now, granted, in the setup, I was using premium products all along the signal chain. A high-res lossless source going through a Peachtree Nova 300, which can output up to 300 watts per channel, using straight wire Octave 3 premium bi-wired cable, because you better believe I took advantage of this speaker's bi-wiring capability. But having premium products from source to speaker made it sound as if it were live in the studio. The timbre and quality of the instruments was so detailed, so separated, being able to hear every string, every fretboard, every drumstick hitting the snare, every word of the vocals. But speaking of the vocals, they came through so clear that, how can I explain this? So clear that I could hear the quality of the microphone? It wasn't like I could hear lyrics coming at me and that was it. It was like I could hear the distance the singer was from the microphone. Again, as if it were live, like I was in the control room when this song was being recorded. I was blown away. It was a whole new experience with a song that I had heard possibly hundreds of times before. But I will say this, it worked so well with Iris because it's more of an acoustic arrangement, even though it's technically an alternative rock song. And that's what works best with instrument separation, acoustic arrangements. Same with Dolby Atmos music if you happen to have seen my review on that. But when Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins came on, it wasn't the same transformative experience because there's a lot more distortion in the guitars. So no matter how good your setup is, distortion is distortion, which can roughly be described as noise, let's be honest. So the noise kind of drowns out the instrument separation a bit. Billy Corben's vocals still cut through like a knife though, don't get me wrong. But classics like Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, even some Michael Jackson songs, the vocals were just butter, front and center, and in their own little pocket, untouched from the rest of the instruments. I also had these towers set up as my front, left, and right speakers in a 7.2.4 home theater configuration in celebration of IMAX Enhanced coming to Disney+. And they performed like a champ. Music and sound effects were huge, worthy of an IMAX experience. And that's just it. The Verus III Concert Towers can handle whatever you throw at it, from being in your home theater's front soundstage to being an integral part of your stereo hi-fi system. But at this point in the review, I have to give you all a warning. If you're planning on using these concert towers mostly in a home theater setting, don't. Aperion Audio also sells a slightly smaller Verus III Grand V6T, which still has mid-range and bass woofers made of Kevlar, still has a custom ASR tweeter, dual bass ports, and dual 5-way binding posts. That will still be a force in any home theater setup. But these towers are labeled concert for a reason. I would only recommend these towers if you're planning on using them solely in a stereo hi-fi system, or if you happen to listen to music a lot along with watching TV and movies in a home theater system. Like 50-50 music and movies. Maybe even 60% music. 75%. Because listening to music is where these come alive and absolutely shine. So if you're only listening to these in a home theater, you're not utilizing these to their fullest potential. It's like putting regular gasoline in a Lamborghini. Sure, it'll get you from point A to point B, but it's not until you put that premium gasoline in a Lambo that you get the performance that it was built for. The same went for using the Nova 300 DAC and premium cables in the stereo hi-fi setup. That's what it takes to truly get the most out of these speakers, using premium gasoline. And when I used regular speaker wire and powered them with my Marantz SR7015 in a home theater setup, with that many speakers in play, it was hard for them to shine. They worked well in the front soundstage, but I couldn't focus just on those two towers with sounds going on all around me. Because in the end, you want to hear just what these two towers can do. You want to focus on their exquisite reproduction of music that you might want to rediscover in a new light. Bottom line is, these were made for music, but will also be a tremendous asset to your home theater's front soundstage as long as you spend at least 50% of the time listening to vinyl records or streaming high-res music through them, because they can handle any music you throw at them with flying colors and rich fidelity. Something you need to experience in person to truly understand what I'm saying, because words can't really express the experience I had with these. And surprisingly, I can honestly say that the song Iris by Goo Goo Dolls will never be the same from now on.
And there you have it.
Thank you for joining me on this review of the Verus III Concert V8T towers. Like always, if you want to own some Aperion audio speakers for yourself, don't forget to use the code EO10 at checkout for 10% off any regularly priced item. What are your thoughts now? Would you want these bad boys in a stereo hi-fi setup? Or do you have a 50-50 split when it comes to watching movies and listening to music in your living room, for example? Have you ever experienced a song from your past in a whole new light because you experienced it on a much better system? Let me know in the comments below. As always, please be kind to each other out there. Don't just watch TV and movies, experience them. And of course, always be listening.